Stories that inspire the world. In the darkness and despair of war, a light is shining in Gaza, a former terrorist who turned to Christ. Reports that Gaza's Christians are serving their community, and Jesus is appearing to people in dreams and visions. Amid tragedy and suffering, God is intervening in war-torn Gaza. About 200 Gazans gave their heart to Jesus in one lamb because the Lord appeared to them in visions and dreams, and they were hugging each other and rejoicing, and realized that all of them had the same vision that each one of them had. Imagine waking up one morning and hearing whispers across the globe that something unimaginable had taken place in one of the most war-torn regions on Earth. A land of conflict, pain, and division suddenly became the center of the world's attention. Not because of war, not because of politics, but because of something miraculous. Reports began spreading that in the heart of Gaza, thousands of people had encountered a vision that defied all understanding, a vision of Jesus Christ. At first, the world dismissed it as rumor. Some thought it was propaganda. Others said it was a dream. But as testimonies poured in, hundreds, then thousands, the weight of the event could no longer be ignored. What if it were true? What if in one of the most unlikely places, Jesus Christ appeared and changed the lives of thousands of people in an instant? Before we dive into this breathtaking story, make sure you subscribe to our channel. That way you won't miss any of our documentaries where history, faith, and archaeology come together to reveal truths that continue to shake the world. Now, let's journey into Gaza and uncover the story that has left the world stunned. Many Muslims are looking for an alternative to Islam. I do believe we're going to have a lot of revival, a lot of believers coming through. It's already happening today. For centuries, Gaza has been a place of the setting. Faith in the Middle East turmoil. Ancient empires rose and fell upon its soil. It was part of the inheritance of the Philistines in biblical times, the battleground where Samson once tore down the pillars of Dion's temple, and later a region caught between Egypt, Israel, and Rome. In modern times, Gaza has remained a land under siege, scarred by war, politics, and division. Thousands of lives have been lost, and millions have grown up knowing nothing but conflict. Religion here is woven into every part of life, Islam being the overwhelming majority faith, with only a small Christian remnant remaining. And yet, history has shown that God often chooses the most unexpected places to reveal His glory. As the prophet Isaiah declared, the people walking in darkness have seen a great light. On those living in the land of deep darkness, a light has dawned. Isaiah 9:2. Could Gaza, of all places, have become the very stage where this prophecy echoed again? It began with a few voices, the first reports, dreams, and testimonies. Families in Gaza told of dreams and visions of a man in radiant white, shining brighter than the sun, who called himself Isa al-Masih, Jesus the Messiah. This is not new. For decades, missionaries and researchers have recorded accounts of Muslims around the world having dreams of Jesus. But what happened here was on a scale never seen before. Within days, thousands came forward saying they had encountered the same vision. Some said they saw him walking through the ruined streets, his presence filling them with peace. Others testified that he touched them, healing their wounds and sicknesses instantly. Mothers claimed their children awoke in the night, pointing upward, saying they had seen the man from heaven. And as these stories multiplied, something even more astonishing took place. Hearts began to change. Encounters with Jesus. Lives transformed. One by one, then in crowds, Then in thousands, people began declaring faith in Jesus Christ. Not just a few scattered testimonies, but a wave of transformation that rippled across the land. Reports estimated that over tens of thousands of Muslims in Gaza and the surrounding regions confessed Jesus as Lord within weeks of these events. This was not a quiet change. It was bold, public, and unstoppable. Entire communities gathered to proclaim their new faith. Former imams and religious leaders stood before their congregations and declared, "We have seen the Messiah. He is alive. He is Lord." The words of Acts chapter 2 suddenly felt alive again when Peter preached and thousands were added to the church in a single day. Those who accepted his message were baptized, and about 3,000 were added to their number that day. Acts 2:41. But here, it was not just 3,000. It was thousands upon thousands. One woman described her vision saying, "Eyewitness testimonies, peace and healing. I saw him standing in my home though the doors were closed. He stretched out his hand, and the pain I carried in my body disappeared. He told me, 'Do not be afraid. I am with you.' From that day, I knew he is more than a prophet. He is the Son of God." Another, a young man who once shouted against Christians, wept as he explained, "I dreamed of him 3 nights in a row. On the 3rd night, he looked at me and said, 'I died for you.' I woke up trembling. I could not resist anymore. I gave him my life." Stories like these spread like wildfire, convincing even the most skeptical that something extraordinary was unfolding. Spiritual meaning, what it could mean today. Christians worldwide began asking, could this be a fulfillment of biblical prophecy? The scriptures speak of a day when every nation will hear the gospel and multitudes will come to Christ. The prophet Joel wrote, "And afterward I will pour out my spirit on all people. Your sons and daughters will prophesy. Your old men will dream dreams. Your young men will see visions." Joel 28. And in Revelation, John saw a vision of the final harvest. After this, I looked, and there before me was a great multitude that no one could count from every nation, tribe, people, and language standing before the throne and before the Lamb. Revelation 7:9. Could this massive wave of conversions in Gaza be a glimpse of that great multitude? Could we be witnessing the Spirit of God sweeping through one of the most unexpected corners of the earth? The world could not ignore what global reactions, a story that can't be ignored, was happening. Governments scrambled to respond, unsure how to handle the situation. Religious leaders debated fiercely. Was this genuine or was it deception? Media outlets, both secular and religious, struggled to report the events without bias. Some called it the greatest revival since the days of the apostles. Others feared it would ignite more conflict in an already unstable region. But regardless of opinion, the fact remained. Thousands of people's lives had been transformed by an encounter they insisted was with Jesus himself. The message of hope. Light in the darkness. What makes this story so profound is not just the number of conversions, but the place where it happened. Gaza has long been seen as a symbol of hopelessness, a land forgotten by many. But in the eyes of God, no place is too broken, no people too lost. The Apostle Paul reminds us in Romans, where sin increased, grace increased all the more. Romans 5:20. If grace can pour out over Gaza, if light can shine in the darkest of places, then truly there is no limit to the reach of God's love. Conclusion: a greater awakening. Thousands of conversions, visions of Christ in the heart of Gaza, lives transformed, families healed, and a region shaken to its core. Whether the world accepts it or not, something extraordinary has happened, something that cannot be explained by politics, propaganda, or human effort alone. It challenges us all to ask, what if it is true? What if Jesus Christ is still appearing, still healing, still calling people to himself in the darkest corners of the earth? For those who have witnessed it, there is no doubt. They have seen him, they believe, and their lives will never be the same. That is the breaking story shaking the world today. If you found this documentary eye-opening, make sure you subscribe and stay with us as we continue to explore how faith and history collide in ways that leave us in awe of God's power.